What's up guys, Houndish here, and today we're jumping in with some Destiny 2 news, of course coming in the form of this week at Bungie. So, a pretty big one this week. They give us details about the launch of the next raid as part of the Beyond Light expansion. So, of course the all-important info about when we'll be jumping into the raid, how contest is going to work, some of the world's first rewards, completion emblems and things like that. So, we'll round up all of that stuff, as well as some new details about next generation on consoles. And yes, Destiny 2 will be seeing a field of view slider on those upcoming consoles, which is pretty fantastic. And then we've got a few additional things to round up regarding Cipher decoders, rewards, and a couple of additional things in what is actually going to be the final Twab from Deej. And yes, there is a final note in there. And Deej's last day working at Bungie is going to be November 6th, 2020. Of course, Deej is the super well-known, long-running community manager, and will most certainly be sincerely missed by the community, but of course Deej has other stops on his professional career, and he ensures us that he'll be jumping in when Beyond Light launches to enjoy that new content alongside us. And so as a community, we'll all want to wish Deej all the best of luck with whatever comes next. But now, we get some of the details about the raid coming in Beyond Light. So, they say for the elite raiders in the room, this means a new shot at glory, and the race to a world-first completion of a raid is one of the most spirited traditions of the Destiny community. And they go on to say that the next race for World's First begins on Saturday, November 21st at 10 AM Pacific. And so, this raid will be launching more than a week after the launch of the expansion, and they say this will give us plenty of time to get ready. We see you assembling your fire teams and conspiring how to power your way through a competitive level. But here is what else you need to know. So, contest mode will cap all players at 20 power below each encounter for 24 hours. Artifact power will be disabled during contest mode, and 1230 power is the team's goal to be at the cap for all encounters. And they point out that being above 1230 won't provide any additional advantage in the final fight. So bear all those numbers in mind, obviously going to be pretty important in that slightly extended grind towards the raid this time around. But they say that this year the ritual for naming the winners will be different, and following all of the immediate fanfare and bustle that follows the checkered flag, our data scientists will be spending extra time validating the finishing team's run. And so we should expect the official announcement for World First to come a bit later than usual. And then an award ceremony will take place in the days that follow the raid, and they'll crown the champions who return first to orbit after a respectable effort. And of course we don't know if there could be any additional secrets or things which kind of unlock as part of the completion of that raid. But they say even if you don't win World First honors, the earliest victors in the raid can claim some awesome rewards to let the world know they were among the first to fight. And everyone who completes the raid in the first 24 hours will receive this special emblem. And so that's the kind of Clovis Bray themed emblem we can see on screen there. And also, there will be a Europa Ready raid jacket available for purchase if you finish the raid before December 1st at 9 AM. But finally, for those who like to savor new content like a fine wine, there'll be additional rewards waiting when we get in there. And along with redacted weapons and armor, everyone who completes the raid will earn the emblem we can see on screen. And so there we go, some additional details about the Beyond Light raid launch this year. Once again, happening on November 21st, a Saturday at 10 AM Pacific time. As always, let us know down below if you're going to be jumping into the raid race this year. Now though, continuing on with the useful announcements from Bungie today, and for the folks planning on playing Destiny 2 in the next generation of consoles initially, Bungie jump in and give us some details. So, the next generation optimized version of Destiny 2 will launch on December 8th, but they say things like faster load times and cross-generation play will be available on November 10th. And they have a breakdown here of all of the stats for the different platforms, but importantly they note we are offering field of view customization on consoles for the first time, and the goal is to enable an FoV range similar to that of PC, and we're currently testing these settings to ensure a smooth performance across each platform, and we'll have additional details closer to launch. So FoV on console obviously is going to be a pretty significant change to the game, but bear in mind that is one of the next gen improvements specifically, so it is something that will drop on December 8th. But additionally, they add that there will be noticeable improvements to things like loading the game and inspecting character inventory. However, some load times are dependent on networking and matchmaking, so loading activities still takes time when you search for opponents. And for cross-generation play, Xbox Series X and S players can play with other Xbox One players, but then PS5 players can play with PlayStation 4 players. And when those optimized versions of the game drop on December 8th, for Xbox Series X we can see it'll run 4K 60 FPS, we'll get the FoV slider faster load times, cross-generation play, and a free next-gen upgrade via Xbox Smart Delivery, and then you essentially have the exact same stats for the PS5. The performance between the two consoles should be fairly similar, but then there is the Xbox Series S as well, and this one will only run 1080p, but you still get 60 frames, FoV slider, and all of the other options the same as the Xbox Series X. So give us your thoughts about that down in the comment section, and let us know whether you're going to be moving to Series X, Series S, or of course PS5. A final thing from the Twab right here, but they say the Bungie Store Community Artist Series is back, and they feature some pretty cool artwork right here. So we've got Ghastly Guardians by Clinton Felker, an awesome Festival of the Lost themed piece there. There are some incredibly talented artists in the Destiny community. We've got the Cult of Nokris right here from John Sermon, absolutely awesome design for a shirt there. But also Blade in the Dark of the Dark Blade by Brandon McCamey. Hopefully I said all those names correctly. Nonetheless, it's awesome to see even more incredibly talented Destiny artists getting a bit of attention from Bungie, and you can check out some of that stuff in the store via the blog post below. Now though, moving away from the immediate news and updates for today, we should mention that Bungie Help said a couple of days back that they'd further adjusted drop rates for Cipher decoders so that 2 drop per activity completion when applicable. And they've said they'll continue to monitor feedback over the next few days, but also note that ciphers don't drop from the following, so that includes enemy kills, gambit, forges, and non-playlist strikes. And so they're essentially saying don't try and farm any of those things in particular in order to get cipher decoders. Cosmo also added that the team know this doesn't address all of the feedback around Festival this year, the core design of the decoder, or the loot inside of the chests and things like that, but it definitely does make it easier to collect the 4 to 5 cipher decoders and use them, which of course is associated with the Triumph to acquire the Ascendant Lens from the Spider. And so in case you haven't been playing for a couple of days, definitely bear that in mind. The only thing we don't know currently is how the Ascendant Lens could potentially be used in the future. We have seen similar items as part of Festival previously that turn out not to have a specific use, things like the toothbrush from Eris, for example. Although, you do have to do quite a few things to actually unlock the Triumph and get the Ascendant Lens, so there is speculation that if it doesn't do something before Beyond Light or during the Festival event itself, that it could potentially be useful in the Beyond Light expansion. So bear it in mind, but we'll simply have to wait and find out. A lot of people have also discussed the fact that the drops from the chests inside of the Haunted Forest, and the weapon drops specifically, are only dropping at 750 power. And Cosmo had said that they're looking into that, so it could be the case that it sees some kind of adjustment. And I'll keep you posted, but if you have any Festival feedback for this year, I'd love to get any thoughts from you in the comment section. Also, Bungie shared concept art for some of the drops that we're getting in the event this year, and of course we can see the ghost with the witch's hat right there. Some of the various armor sets, as well as the mummified ship that we can pick up. A lot of players did say though, it's a shame that we haven't got the version with the kind of lava or fire on the underside right there, but nonetheless I thought it was interesting and you guys might want to check it out. Another thing that DMG confirmed in the past couple of days is that as part of Twab in Season 12, they're planning on adding a weekly artist feature, which is very similar to Movie of the Week, but of course specifically for artists. So if you do tend to submit a lot of community creations, especially on the art or graphics side, new opportunities for those to be featured and rewarded will be coming next season. But for today guys, otherwise, that's everything that we have to speak about in the video. So as always, give us your thoughts on everything that Bungie touched on in the comment section. But if you have enjoyed this one, a rating below really helps us out. And get subscribed to the channel if you want to be kept up to date with the world of Destiny 2. But otherwise, I'll catch you all very soon.